Well, as you know, my meat ant colony certainly does need a new outworld. It's getting packed out there. The nest is full, the outworld is full, they're storing their larvae out here. Time for a new one, I think. And that presents a little bit of an issue. I have to do something about it. I have to make a new outworld. And I want to make one that's nice for them. Plenty of room to move around. So what am I going to come up with? Well, as you know, the full overview of my colony here. Next door to them, I also have my colony of Myrmecia brevinoda. Also, I want to give them a new outworld and make it look a little bit nicer for them. And that's what the focus of this video is about. So let's get into how that came about. Well, like I said, the meat ants certainly do need some more room to move around. Something a bit nicer, and I'm working on that desert theme for them. And the Brevinoda have this nice tank, but I want to make it a bit nicer for them as well. It's a pretty messy one. So we need to do an upgrade to both of these, and this video focuses on the Brevinoda. Now originally I was going to make an outworld from this for my meat ants. I was tossing up whether I give them the glass tank like this, and then I thought, oh, hang on, I have a Tupperware container as well that I could use. That's no longer being used. Should I give them one of those? But then that got me thinking, what's going to be the easiest to do, but also provide exactly what they need? See, this glass tank is nice, but it's not very secure. Well, I have another glass tank. Beautiful tank here. And I think what I'm going to do is use this one for the Brevinodas and give the current one that the Brevinoda colony has over here, slightly smaller one, to the meat ants. What do you think? Sound like a good idea? Well, that's what I've come up with. So let's get building. One of the first things I did was to build this frame for the top of the tank. Now this enables me to lift off the top nice and easily. It's nice and secure, there's no gaps at all, and there's plenty of ventilation. Now I've used an aluminium fly screen here, so very tough and very strong. They shouldn't be able to chew their way out of it. Fingers crossed anyway. But I'll be making sure I put a barrier of fluon around the top, just in case as well. Escape prevention is essential. These Brevinodas, you don't want them getting out. Now another feature I wanted to do with this is to be able to have the tube come up and out of the ground, so it is like a proper nest underground. What do you think of that idea? So I'm going to need to build up the outworld here, up around that, so I can have that nice entrance. Now I'm going to use their existing green plant that they do have, and I have found this twig off a tree, and I've broken it down into some nice pieces. That looks pretty good, I reckon. A gnarly little tree stump there that I think they will enjoy climbing over. As I've mentioned before in my videos, I want to give them a little bit of height, something to explore, and I think that'll do nicely. So I'm going to do a plaster pour. So I've mixed up some plaster and I'm going to dump it in here and raise this level up. Now I do this so they can't dig down deep into the sand, and I can have a nice base layer here as well. It always gets dirty though using plaster. So you can see I've built it up around that nest entrance. I've got the tree just being held in place, a nice distance away from the glass just by the blue tack there. Can remove that later on as well. So here I can just pour in the plaster in and around, make sure that tree stays where it is, give it a little bit of shape to the outworld, a nice mound. And then as a final thing, what I did is I actually mixed up some sand, some white sand and some red sand into the plaster layer, and I've put that down over the top of the original, allowing them to bond together as well. And then I've sprinkled some sand on the top here just to stick into place. Now it's a bit of a mess, isn't it? It looks pretty messy, so it's going to need a little bit of a cleanup, but I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I've got a couple of extra rocks in there to give them a little bit of structure, but I also want a bit of a nice open area where I can place in water and sugar and feeders and things like that without getting attacked or stung, without having to look out. Now the beauty of the plaster is when you let it dry, it rubs off the glass nice and easily. So just like this, and you can actually work your way around it, knock off some of those bits, and clean up all of the glass. It does require a little bit of work, so the neater you are, the better, definitely. But you get the idea. Always good idea though to let it dry first so you don't smudge and smear things over the glass. And here we go. This is what it looks like after. Nicely cleaned up, and I'm pretty happy with how it looks. It's got some nice structure there. It looks quite reasonable. Looks like a little bit of outworld, what they might experience, just that dirt on the ground outside where I found them. Might even add a few leaves or a little bit of texture to the soil there as well. We'll see how we go. But pretty happy with that indeed. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think of this outworld. Do you reckon they'll enjoy it? I think it gives them some nice structure, some nice areas to climb on, a little bit of something different. If they're hunting those crickets, they've definitely got some room to move around and to do that as well. This tank is slightly larger, which is nice as well, just that little bit extra. Now what we have here is we have the fluon, or the PTFE insect barrier, and I'm going to rub that using a cotton wool all the way around the edge. As I said, I've got that top that goes on to make sure there's nothing escaping, but I don't even want them to get up and on top of that to be able to have a go at that aluminium fly mesh, or to even just be there when I want to remove it to do some cleaning or some feeding. But we will smear on some of this PTFE first, and then we should be ready to go. Alright, let's get that done now. And there we go. All applied around the top. I do that in a circular motion right the way around, making sure I don't miss any bits. What I've done is I've also cut down a little bit of the silicon in the corner there, just to make sure they can't get in and across the silicon, which my Camponotus consubrinus love to do. So it's looking pretty miserable there in that outworld. This outworld looks much better. Wouldn't you agree? I'm pretty sure you'll be happy with this. And it's going to be nice to observe the Brevinoda in this new outworld. Alright, well, you know what's left to happen now. We've got to get them in there. How are we going to do this? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these nice fine tweezers. Now these are very soft-handed tweezers, which means they don't crush them. If you have watched my bull ant nest rescue, you've seen me use them before. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get all the ones out of the outworld here, and we're going to put them into the new outworld. And you'll see that I've blocked off the entrance in there. So all I'm doing is I'm grabbing those ones in the around the thorax, so I can bring them over like so. No harm at all to the ant. He's just she's just pretty upset, and I can just drop her in there. She's cranky, but she's unharmed. And then I'll need to do this for the rest, all of the ones here in the outworld. Now I've blocked off the entrance to the nest that they have, and I've blocked off the entrance that will go to the nest in the new outworld. And here we can see all the workers that have been transferred over. Fantastic. They're already out and about and exploring, seeing what's there, which is really good. I'm really excited to see how they go in this new nest. In the test tubes there as well, there was a few brood, so I've put them into the outworld as well, just dumped them in. Less than ideal, but hopefully they'll be able to put them away fairly quickly and we won't have any issues. Okay, the new outworld, it is in place. Now it's time to connect everything up without getting stung. The fantastic part. So here we have, I've taken out the need to take out that tubing, and I've blocked it off again in the outworld there. So I'm removing that tubing, and then what I need to do is I need to put in the tube from the existing nest. Now I've drilled the holes all the same size. This will need to go in and across, so we can connect it all up like so. Okay, so there's the one removed. Now it's time to get the existing one there blocked off with a cotton, and we'll place that inside there. Going to have to be quick and make sure there's none of the workers ready to come out of the nest and give me a nice big sting. Still haven't been stung by the Brevinoda. That's a pretty good thing, but I'm fairly careful how I go about things, so hopefully there won't be any issues, but you never know. It's going to happen in the future. Whenever you're handling Myrmecia, please be very careful how you do things. Be slow, take your time, do things correctly. Do not want anybody getting stung out there, and this is why the bull ants are often treated as experienced ant keepers only. Okay, all connected up, looking good, and I'll put some extra tape just around those pieces to make sure nothing pops off. We don't want any workers running around like crazy. In fact, there weren't many workers in the 3D printed nest, so that was good. I am looking at making these girls a new nest as well though, an all-in-one white-ong nest, which would be pretty cool. So stay tuned for that. And there we go. How long will it be before they go exploring? Now, with all of my outworlds that I build, I like to try and make them easy to maintain. So nice open spaces, but also make it a little bit interesting for them, but so that I can clean them. I like them to try and keep the form of the soil nice, so I don't make any naturalistic setups. I do like to have it like this so that I can easily see what's going on, keep an eye on them as well, and make sure it's aesthetically pleasing to look at as well. But a naturalistic one may happen one day. And here we go, look at this. This is what I was talking about. How nice it is to see them climbing this tree that I've put in, exploring, seeing what's around. Fantastic, that's great. Really happy to see that. And that's what I wanted. Something for them to explore with. Here's one stumbling over the hole. And there, look at that, there we go. Great to see. Little workers come out of the nest, come all the way through to explore, and has come out in a completely new world. I often wonder what they think when this is happening. Whoop, there goes the big worker. Big worker's gone down the tunnel. How will she go? Whoop, there she is. She just popped her head out. The smells of that new tube certainly will probably upset her a little bit. She'll be wondering what is going on there. And they explore the outworld, getting used to it. What will they end up doing? Really fun to see though, isn't it? Okay, well they've started to explore those tubes, which is nice, into the nest, so hopefully they'll find themselves at home shortly. So what do you think of this setup? Here I've just put the lid back on. You can see it's nice and secure. Things are looking pretty good there. Pretty happy with that setup. Let me know what you think in the comments. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the channel and you'll get early access to videos, behind the scenes information, and plenty of other perks on different levels as well. So I really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Well, builds like this are not possible without my wonderful Patreon. So huge thank you to Medical Carcass 9, Hugh Janus, Gordon C, Ant Nation, and Ant Canine and Co. Now if you haven't subscribed to the video, please hit that subscribe button. There's a video there recommended for you. I think you'll enjoy it, and there's one that I've picked that you might really like as well. Thanks for watching the video all the way through to the end, and remember, happy ant keeping.